This is another episode of Standup Comedy, your host and MC, celebrating 40-plus years on the fringe of show business. Stories, interviews, and comedy sets from the famous and not so famous. Here's your host and MC, Scott Edwards.
Hi, and welcome to another great show, a Cavalcade of Comedy. As we work our way back in time, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, I have four talented headliners to share with you today. We're going to start off in 1996 with one of the funniest and cleanest comics ever to come out of the Bay Area. He is a good friend of mine, worked many shows with me, and one of our favorites. Coming up in just a little bit, Steve Bruner. After him, we'll have from 1995, see the theme, we're moving backwards, Tom McTigue, a very funny guy. He's now out of Texas now, but back in the day, he was living in Los Angeles and a very top-end headliner. From 1990, we have a great set from Paula Poundstone. We were one of the first clubs she worked when she first came out from Boston, and this set from 1990 is a lot of fun. And then to end things up, we go to the high-energy comedy of Bobcat Goldthait from 1989. And this high-energy short set is just a taste of what Bobcat was like on stage. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we work our way back in time, we have a very entertaining and funny cavalcade of comedy. So let's get started. Coming up first, as I mentioned, a regular Laughs Unlimited, one of the cleanest corporate comics still out working today. In fact, I just did a fundraiser with him last month. Very funny guy out of the Bay Area. Here's a little comedy by Steve Bruner.
I saw a Western not too long ago, one of these things where the cavalry comes in to save the day. Realized the hardest job in the entire world had to be the bugler in a cavalry. He led every single charge in the battle. If there's anything you don't want to be, it's a target making noise. He's just leading his little friends right into the fray, playing his little tune. What were the words to this song? I'm over here. Without a gun. Shoot me first. I hit my recruiter. Like it's not a hard enough job just playing bugle. It's a hard instrument to play. This guy is trying to play it while riding a horse. Like that wouldn't be the toughest job combination. And I hope he had a good dental plan. That's it, you know. Before I joined the cavalry, they used to call me Bucky. And we had a lot of musical instruments leading the charge into battles, like the Scottish army had the bagpipe player. He was definitely shot first. Usually by his own men. Stuck that in right. Tough jobs are everywhere. I think it's got to be a tough job to be doctor, because everybody's nervous about going to the doctor. Figured out why I was so nervous last time I went. It's because they give you that little form that says name, address, phone number. Then line 4 says, in case of emergency. Who do you want us to notify? Perhaps the doctor. I guess if he doesn't know what to do, I should put down coroner. Shouldn't I? This last flight across the country, she actually said, as part of her safety speech, in case of an unscheduled landing. Code word, crash. In case of an unscheduled landing, file out in an orderly fashion. Did you not see us trying to get on the plane? We couldn't manage to get on this sucker in an orderly fashion. We boarded this plane like it was the last chopper out of Saigon. Now you're going to factor death into the equation. And they've made flying uncomfortable for a lot of people now. They've outlawed smoking on airplanes. You think that's a good idea? Yeah, people kind of applaud that. The no people never applaud anything, really. Too busy gasping for breath. It's like, I'd kick your butt if I had the lung capacity. 'Cause I think they should still have separate sections. Maybe not smoking and non-smoking, but something to separate us, like withdrawing and non-withdrawing. That way, for a 7-hour flight, I wouldn't have to sit next to Mr. Fidgety, who's being forced to quit. Because you realize in the very first minute you sit next to him, it's going to be a very long flight for both of them. You know I can't smoke. Shoot on my gum, you don't have an ashtray I could lick or anything like that. Once you're in the areas bothering the stewardess, ding, 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 ding. Is there any place I can smoke where they're having a problem here? Is there like a door to the wing? Maybe a window rolls down or something that I can just pop a key with? How about the bathroom? Is the bathroom, it's a felony? Oh God, I hate to be in Sing Sing. What are you in for? Smoking in the boys' room? I used to, until this last flight, I used to worry about a terrorist hijacker. Not anymore. Now I'm worried about some guy in the midst of a nicotine fit. All right, just land the damn thing. Put it down. Somewhere near North Carolina, they grow tobacco there. Hey, I don't start smoking, we all start smoking. Get what I mean?
Steve's one of my favorites for a reason. Always very funny, easy to relate to, and as clean as they come. Hey, coming up next, another one of our favorites. He worked the club for many, many years. He was originally in Los Angeles. He's now semi-retired to Texas, but a very funny and successful stand-up comic. You may remember him. He was also an early actor on the TV show Baywatch. Here's some stand-up comedy by the very funny Tom McTigue.
Well, it's nice to be here. Played some golf today, which was fun. But it was kind of embarrassing because I'm not a very good golfer, but I hit kind of a long ball off the 5th tee, I guess, and I clipped the lady in the foursome in front of us. And I didn't kill her or nothing. Decided to club her to death with my 4-iron. Because you never want to take a wounded golfer home with you, because sometimes, you know, they come to in the back seat and they can really tear up your upholstery. I was hanging around up on Venice Beach not too long ago, and I was walking down the boardwalk up there, and these two guys passed me, and as they walked past, they made some rather disparaging remarks about Mexicans, which I thought was a little, you know, off base, you know, because there's a lot of Mexican influence and a lot of Mexicans around here, because Mexico's like a block away. And if you think about it, that's really too bad, because the Mexicans, as a people, are a very, very proud race. They were originally Siberian. And then, this is a long time ago. Then they migrated across the Siberian land bridge to Alaska, and it was just really cold. And they kept walking, and they got to Canada, and everybody was just real stupid. So then they kept walking and got to Washington, and it was raining. And then they got to Oregon, and they didn't want to hang around because everybody was pretty stoned. And then they got down here to California, kept walking and got here to California, and of course couldn't get on the golf courses here. And so they kept walking and got to, and eventually settled what we now know as Mexico. And it makes me awfully upset when I hear people say, you know, that Mexicans are lazy, because, you know, they're not lazy, they're tired. I'm a little tired myself. I mean, I'm not like Ethiopian tired, you know. I'd wipe a fly off my nose if I had to. Those are some tired people, right? Hey, Pinbuck, you got a fly on your nose. I know, I'm just really tired. Give you a cheeseburger if you wipe it off there. I don't think so. I'm tired, though. Well, I'm tired. I just got a new bed. My first bed, actually. It's my first real bed. Not like real bed. Like sleeping on pallets of straw. I've had a water bed before, which are good bed. They're good beds for sleeping on. But they're not very good for making love, I don't think. Because my idea of the love act is real slam dunk and friction, you know. And with water beds, you know, you get the wave action going, you know, and then both parties just kind of in the same direction. Kind of becomes a nice, warm, wet place to put your penis for no apparent reason. Makes you kind of sleepy. And I had silk sheets on my waterbed. And silk sheets, in my opinion, are a purchase that people only make once. No, you only buy silk sheets once. And I bought them for the same reason that most men buy silk sheets. I saw an ad in a men's magazine with a very voluptuous young lady and a very high-cut teddy here and a low-cut teddy there and the push-up big old cleavage down. And there was a caption underneath it all that said, "Nothing feels like silk." So I bought them. And they're right, when nothing feels like silk, but nothing feels like a headboard at 30 miles an hour either.
Wow, that was great. Tom is a very funny guy, and you could see he's got a great grasp on what's funny and how to get it across to an audience. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to bring the ladies into this. A young lady that first came out from Boston to Laughs Unlimited was one of the first clubs she ever worked. She was also the only act I allowed to work multiple weeks at my club, is so she could work out a material and kind of find her comedic voice. She went on to fame and fortune. She has a very popular podcast now, done a lot of television. But let's hear some comedy from 1990. Ladies and gentlemen, a young and unique Paula Poundstone.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I was able to nail down the Comedy Oasis job. I'm able to go to Winnipeg and Sacramento. I'm feeling pretty good about it. The Tonight Show's nothing when you compare it to Sacramento. Unlimited laughs, you guys. What more could you ask for? Actually, Jay loves the road. I like it, okay? It gets a little depressing, though, sometimes. I was in Cleveland a couple weeks ago. I rented a Chevette and tried to drive into a tree and kill myself. Only as it turns out, you can't get up enough speed to do that in a Chevette. You know what you can do? You can knock the Kleenex box off the dashboard, which certainly vents a good deal of feeling. Are there a lot of tourists here? And then the locals are going to get their butts kicked in the playoff game, I think. I'm trying to think if I've done anything summery or vacationing. I don't really too much. I'm always edgy in the summer because my parents recently bought a Winnebago, which means they could pull up in front of my house any day now and just live there. I'll tell you what, they're not plugging anything in, they're not getting any water. They should have thought of that a long time ago. When I was a little kid and my mom would get mad at me, she'd say, "Your butt is my meat." I always wondered, what wine goes with that? I don't know if it messed me up or not, but I talk to a shrink pretty much every day now. Actually, you know, the thing about seeing a shrink is you really can't pay someone to take an interest. You know what I mean? There's nothing worse than realizing that piece of paper your shrink is writing on is a crossword puzzle. It was a dead giveaway. I told her something about my mom. She said, "Mm-hmm. And who played 99 on Get Smart?" I said, "Well, Barbara Feldon. Why?" "Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about that?" It's like, guess I'm kind of mad. I had always wanted Karen Valentine to have that role. As it turns out, a lot of my sexual problems has to do with casting in sitcoms in the early 70s. I would like to do a remake of that movie, It's a Wonderful Life, where in the beginning of the film, I jump off the bridge and the angel rescues me and shows me what life would have been like without me. Only it turns out it really would have been a whole lot better. And the angel is forced to apologize. It's right, I think it was last month's Life magazine, they were talking about old movies. They said The Wizard of Oz was reviewed badly when it first came out. Did you read this? Yeah, they said it was stupid and unimaginative. What if it turns out Rambo 3 was really good? And they show it every Easter. I'll tell you, I understand that you guys liked the Batman movie. I'm not going to see it. I figure I've seen it frame by frame in T-shirts that have walked by me at this point. Enough with the Batman movie. I liked the television show when it was out, you know. Though, you know why I think the criminals always got caught on that show? It's because they wore their names on their outfits. The Riddler wore a green leotard with question marks on it. Exactly how hard is that going to be to identify? Why, yes, officer, I believe that's him. Unless, of course, the Ice Capades has a punctuation theme this year.
I got to tell you, nobody does comedy like Paula. She is one of a kind. Well, we hope you're enjoying this. We have one last little bit of comedy for the Cavalcade of Comedy. This high-energy act, you've seen him on television. He was a huge success in the late 80s. In fact, this is from 1989. He went on to some movie and television success in the 90s. But let's hear some great stand-up comedy, a short, exciting set by Bobcat Goldthwait.
I don't know a fucking thing about politics, and I'm not gonna pretend I even know anything about politics. Heaven forbid, I'm not as smart as our president, you know, and all that, but I don't wanna be rude, but like, weren't the Iranians the bad guys a little while ago? I guess somewhere in our government they said, let's see, like, who's the most crazy fucks we can give guns to? Manson's in jail. So, I don't know. Just spit it out. I'm so confused on what's going on. Like, there was all these guns, there was money. We had Israelis, Israelis sold arms to the Iranians, right? And I'm not trying to be a racist, but apparently there's like some kind of profit made by the Israelis, and that sounds pretty odd to me.
That was Bobcat Goldthwait doing a little political humor back in 1989. Well, hey, we hope you enjoyed this little time travel cavalcade of comedy from 1996 and Steve Bruner, 1995 Tom McTigue, 1990 Paula Poundstone, and you just heard from 1989 Bobcat Goldthwait. We want to thank you for joining us for today's show. Stay tuned next Sunday, another great one. Thanks for listening. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC. For information on the show, merchandise, and our sponsors, or to send comments to Scott, visit our website at www.standupyourhostandmc.com. Look for more episodes soon and enjoy the world of stand-up comedy. Visit a comedy showroom near you.